The Knicks lead 91-79 as we start the fourth quarter. They have been nearly unbeatable when they have a lead heading into the fourth.
C.J. McCollum in his villain arc puts Atlanta up. Brunson to tie the game, and he does.
Ice cold.
Hawks looking to run. Johnson slams it home. Atlanta has its largest lead.
You got to play better with the lead. That's twice in the fourth quarter now.
Atlanta comes all the way back and ties the series.
Welcome back to another fresh hour of First Take. The Knicks and Hawks renew their series with Game 3 in Atlanta tonight. Here was Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges after practice yesterday on the Knicks' Game 2 loss. Listen.
That's a game we should have won. Watching the film, you realize, obviously, it reinforces that. And then, like I said, we got to make sure we're locked in and focused for a full 48.
You always want to, get better in a win, but sometimes you need a loss to, dive in on things that you was, not doing well. And, that's a good team too, so it's not like it's going to be easy. Just got to learn from it and, bring that fire to the next game.
Kenny the Jet Smith now joins us here on First Take, so maybe a wake-up call for the Knicks in Game 2.
Queens in the building. Queens in the building.
Queens get the money.
Hey, look, I like the color coordination. You matching your china in the back.
Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did.
He had a fireplace last week, Shay. He had a fireplace last week.
He's moving all over.
That's what he does.
Stephen, this is multiple homes, so I got different places.
Oh,
God.
I can relate.
Let me get back to the task at hand. Could the Knicks' loss in Game 2 actually be a blessing in disguise?
I don't know if any loss is a blessing. I think what you do is when you're in a playoff situation, I think, Tess, I don't know if you say, hey, a loss is great for us. But you also know that series can be long. And you're not going to beat most people 4-0. And so you're just trying to figure out how to get better each game. What is the adjustment we're going to make from each game? Sometimes those adjustments come into wins. But the one thing about when you win a game, you feel you don't have to make an adjustment. And sometimes even in a win, the Knicks really had to make an adjustment, but they did not. So now they say, okay, we really have to make this adjustment that we didn't do before. And we have to understand that they have size and length on the perimeter and really attack us on the offensive end and try to take advantage of some of our mismatches.
No, it is. It is a blessing in disguise. You know why? Because it wakes you up and it pisses you off because the film room, the energy in the film room is different, right? The vibes is different. The film that's brought up is different. Moments are highlighted. Like if they don't lose that game, we don't highlight Jalen Brunson being picked on by C.J. McCollum and being the defensive liability and then him being held accountable that he need to pick his one-on-one defense up. One thing that I saw from Game 1 after they won the game, and it pissed me off because I'm like, the Knicks is a team that's a legit title contender. I saw Karl Anthony Towns, after the game, he was dabbing everybody up in the stands. It's a big celebration. And I'm saying this is the first round of the playoffs, bro. This is what you're supposed to do. Walk off the floor like this is a game. You just won a game at home, Game 1. So what? You don't see Oklahoma City doing that. You don't see the Boston Celtics doing that. And so what happens is the plane ride, the mood on the plane ride, well, if you up 2-0, you may be on there. You might be playing cards, a little Blu-ray or some guts. That energy change, right? And so all of a sudden you come out pissed off and it brings you back to the moment. It brings you back to reality. It brings the coach to a level of accountability and say, you know what? I might need to play my double big lineup a little bit more with Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson. I might need to feed Karl Anthony Towns a little bit more. Because, again, S.A., we wouldn't highlight, Kenny, that Karl Anthony Towns only had 2 field goal attempts in the fourth quarter.
Well, let me say this, and leave Kenny and Perk up on the screen when I say this because I want to see their face what I'm about to say, okay? You know, you bring up a valid point, and I remember it harkens me back to the World Baseball Classic when people were asking the question about them winning this stuff, and is it like tantamount to winning the World Series? And El Capitan, Derek Jeter, calmed everybody's nerves when he said, Well, those would be people who haven't won a World Series. They wouldn't know. And you're damn right, that's the truth. When you bring up Karl Anthony Towns dapping up everybody like you won something, because guess what? You didn't. You don't know any better because you haven't won yet. Now, let's be very, very clear about that. I'm watching a New York Knicks squad right now, which I'm very, very disgusted by. And I don't know why the hell we saw, sound from Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. I'm going to be nice to Josh Hart. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not trying to upset the man. But Mikal Bridges, I don't care whether I upset him or not. I'm trying to light a fire in him. I'm not rooting against him. I'm rooting for him. In the games against the Atlanta Hawks this year, 5 games, the brothers averaging 10.5 points on 42% shooting and 30% from three-point range. How many first-round picks were given up for him? That's 6. 4 unprotected. I am going to keep bringing this up. I'm not playing. This man, I need more from him. I don't give a damn what that more is. Figure it the hell out. Do something. But make sure you have an impact that contributes to winning, because I'm not seeing it. That's number 1. Number 2, Mike Brown. Let me call this man out. Do you know that the New York Knicks were outscored by 7 points in 11 minutes in Game 2 with both Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns on the bench together? Why the hell are the both of you on the bench together? Why? How come one of y'all ain't out there? These are the Atlanta Hawks. 3 of the 5 games you played against them this year came down to 1-possession games. Why the hell are both of them on the bench with a total of 11 minutes, right? Look at this right here, okay? Check this out. During the regular season, the New York Knicks played 610 garbage time minutes. I want to see Kenny's face when I say this. I want to see Kenny Smith's face when I say this. 610 non-garbage time possessions with Towns and Brunson both on the bench, and the Knicks got outscored by 76 points in those minutes. That means that when they're both on the bench, it doesn't work. Why are they on the bench together against the Atlanta Hawks? I mean, these are the kind of things that I deduce. See, brilliance comes not just from intellect, but it comes from being smart enough to learn from intellectuals. See, I watch my man Kenny Smith. I listen to my man Big Perk. Barkley, with all his mumbling and stumbling, makes all the sense in the world most of the time he's speaking. And Shaq, even though I hardly understand what the hell his ass says sometimes, unless he's cracking jokes on me or Kenny or Chuck, the bottom line is he knows what the hell he's talking about as well, okay? Inside the NBA crew, this is the kind of stuff that I'm going to need them to touch on, because damn it, it's not the time to be nice to the New York Knicks. Queens, get the money. Queens in the building.
Well, let me
New
say
York
this.
City represent. You got to get on them. You can't have this stuff, Kenny. You can't have this stuff.
You're speaking without question from a passionate fan point of view.
Yes.
But that is the reason that you brought in Jose Alvarado, to give Jalen Brunson some minutes, because he has proven at times in the playoffs he can be disruptive. He can be
not a problem with
different.
him. My issue is with them on the bench together, Brunson and Cat on the bench together. At the same time, Kenny. That's all I'm saying. At the same time.
But that is the reason, because you're saying, okay, I could maybe suffice these minutes. He was wrong. Okay, now that's why we play 7. We're not in the NCAA. We play 7 games, and we have an opportunity to correct what is there. I'm not sure on Perk's championship runs, but I've been blessed to be on 2 championship runs and 2 championship teams. We only won 1 series 4-0. You're gonna have to beat people. You're gonna have to understand and make adjustments. It's sustainability that makes you great. It's not.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Kenny.
I can beat you every day.
Let me ask you a question, Kenny. See, Perk, you from Beaumont, Texas. You understand? I got the Queens got to ask this man this question, right? Queens in the building. We got to ask this man this question. Kenny, does it not disturb you that what you see from the New York Knicks in terms of grit, and I know the New York Knicks blew game 1 against Indiana last year. That's how they lost the damn series, because they blew that game 1. I understand this stuff happens. But does it not concern you, the apparent precipitous drop-off in that grit, that grind, that fight that we saw in the New York Knicks over the last 2 or 3 years, and how on too many occasions this year we're not seeing that? Does that not concern you?
As a Knicks fan, I'm going to go back to being a fan then.
Yes.
So what would bother me is the fact that as a fan, I would always believe that the Knicks, when you say New York toughness, is that the perimeter was always the first line of defense. And Mikal Bridges was brought in to be a key contributor in that defense. Josh Hart, key contributor. They got rid of DiVincenzo, who was a grit
I miss him.
defender. And so their grit in terms of stopping people to getting into the paint off the dribble was lackluster in game 2. And, you know, CJ McCollum, as good as he is, his best years, honestly, we've seen. He is now on the tail end of his best years. So it's not the CJ McCollum we saw. He's been in the league for almost a decade or more. So now this is not a guy who is, we would expect that to happen from Johnson. We would expect that to happen from Alexander. However, CJ McCollum is the guy who came in the middle of the season and not really was part of this transformation. And so that is what is surprising to me, is how easy he was able to get into the paint and get into his areas of the scoring. That concerns me more than anything. Who's going to take the CJ McCollum challenge?
Thank you. And that's the part. That's the part. Now, Josh Hart, I got to give him a pass and give him his flowers. He has been doing his job.
Yes, he has.
His assignment has been Jalen Johnson. We knew that coming into the series. Jalen Johnson has struggled in these first 2 games. But Mikal Bridges was known 2 years ago as one of the best, if not best, like on the verge of being one of the better two-way players, but a hell of a defender on the perimeter. We can't just give OG Anunoby a pass either, because he's known and valued as a two-way guy. Like, at some point, yes, we could blame Mike Brown, but at some point, one of these guys got to step up and say, I got him. That's me. I want this smoke with CJ. Hey, look, and credit to the Hawks, because they doing an outstanding job, too. Their thing is, we're going to play with pace.
Right.
We know we got a young team. We got to get out and run. And then they're doing another thing. This is where you want to see the adjustments real quick, because they're putting Jalen Brunson in the screen and roll to get the switch.
That's right.
What is your adjustment going to be, Mike Brown? Is it going to be a short show, or are you going to make him buckle down and get a stop?